Dealing with a narcissist is like having a bad penny sewn inside your pocket, and you just cannot get rid of it no matter what you do. So, why is it that we seem to have the worst luck in the world when a nasty narc is in our lives? This isn't a topic that I've ever really talked about before on my channel, but I want to talk about some possibilities and some theories that narcissists are, in fact, bad luck. Now, you may or may not agree with some of the things I talk about here today. That's totally fine. Now, also, I just want to throw in just because I discuss some of these topics, it also doesn't mean that I believe in or don't believe in certain things, respectively. Honestly, I just find this really interesting and I want to talk about it, so I'm going to do that. I've been looking for some videos about our narc's bad luck and I haven't really found much, so I just kind of want to do one of my own. So I feel like there are some legitimate reasons why a narcissist might be deemed as like bad luck. Number one, gaslighting causes really bad decisions. So spending a lot of time in the company of a narcissist fills your brain with that really negative narrative that isn't true. You begin to see a world that isn't your world. It's the narcissist's reality, and now it's all your very own. Being gaslighted and losing our idea of what the world really is can cause us to make extremely poor decisions. Decisions that the narcissist wants us to make. Choices that we make with little information, no information, or wrong information. In turn, making these really poor decisions can cause bad things to happen, which can be explained by saying something like bad luck. Number two, love bombing. Narcissists move way too fast, and that's what love bombing is all about, showing you that false narrative and getting you to buy in as quickly as possible before you realize that this whole thing is the bait and switch that we know it to be. This love bombing can cause you more bad luck because, once again, you're in a position where you're making poor choices with very faulty information. And this is a theme with narcissists. You'll never know the truth. You'll never feel safe. You will always feel confused and feel like you never do anything right and like you have the worst luck in the world. Number three, the wear down. Narcissists will fight with you again and again about the same thing, bring up the same topic ad nauseum, and they will attempt to change your mind and make you give in to whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. This works a lot of the time because you reach a point where, oh, you just want it all to stop. You don't want to fight anymore. You give the little baby the candy so that they'll shut the hell up and quit crying. When you fight back, however, stand your ground, hold your boundaries and your positions, inevitably it wears you down over time. You can become very angry, mean, bitter, distant, and also defeated, depressed, and worn down. The overall nature of a narcissist takes its toll on people over time. I don't care how much time it is. And so here's what ends up happening. You catch more colds, more illnesses, you have more health problems of the physical and mental variety. This carries over into relationships, your career, and overall, everything begins to suffer. And you'll hear those phrases. Wow, you have another cold? Man, you just got the worst luck. Are you kidding me? A flat tire? Man, you just got that car. Worst luck. Or can my luck get any worse? I'm the one who deserved that promotion. I can't believe I got picked over again. Number four, forget about gaslighting, love bombing, and all the other tricks that narcs do that cause us to make bad decisions. Let's talk about what they directly do and how that brings us bad luck. Bad things end up happening because of the choices that narcs make and how all of that affects us. A lot of the choices that a narc makes is purposefully made because there's little for them to lose and so much more for their victim to lose. Them simply neglecting to pay a bill or taking care of something might not result in much consequence for them, but dire consequences for you. Now, this can all be summed up under the idea of, this is bad luck. And if you simply just Google bad luck, it will go on to say something unfortunate or, having feelings of sympathy when something bad happens to somebody. I feel this happens so much with narcs because of all the negativity they carry and their blatant disregard for anybody but themselves. How can you not have bad luck when you're dealing with a person who makes their own luck and it's never bad? If you'd like to talk with me one on one and get some help and support for what you're going through, you can text the number on the screen. You can call that same number and press 1, and the information will be sent right to your phone. You can send me an email, or you can even visit my website if you would like to speak with me. All this information on the screen for you now and down in the video description. Now, I want to swing this video to some other ideas about this, some ideas about bad luck and just other bonds and things in general that are a little harder to explain, but I just find them really interesting and they're kind of along the same lines, so I really want to talk about them. In the world of quantum physics, there is a phenomenon called quantum entanglement. You might say to yourself, hey, I should text insert name here. And 10 seconds later, you get a text from them. You've probably had things like this happen to you over the course of your life, and we all just kind of shrug it off and we go, yeah, it's a coincidence. Well, entanglement says otherwise. And the very, very short definition of entanglement is when two separate people bond so strongly that what happens to one will affect the other. And again, the most basic definition is what I'm offering up here. So skip your comments about how I'm not a scientist. No kidding. Anyway, all of this suggests that when people are strongly connected, a bond forms. Now, this we absolutely know to be true because in narc speak, we can call it a trauma bond. We know an incredibly strong bond forms with these people. Now, this in and of itself doesn't necessarily have anything to do with bad luck, but when we get so closely bonded to a person who is bad luck, bad choices, and everything else bad, that will naturally have some sort of effect on you. Sometimes, if you can't stop thinking about the person, again, trauma bond, you might have a burst of an emotion for no apparent reason. The person can pop up in your dreams. All of this is discussed when talking about quantum entanglement. If this is an idea that you're interested in going into further, I highly suggest looking into quantum entanglement or what Albert Einstein called spooky action at a distance. Now, if you've seen Jurassic Park, Dr. Ian Malcolm educated you, as he did me, on chaos theory, a very high branch of mathematics where the slightest change can cause great cataclysmic consequences. We can also talk about the butterfly effect as it relates to chaos theory and all of that stuff. However, I'm not Bill Nye or anything of the sort. I'm frankly just not smart enough or knowledgeable enough to dive very deeply into all of it, but we can generally understand that with the butterfly effect, one of the smallest changes ever can lead to huge, horrific things happening in our lives. And sometimes we have no idea that one small thing, dealing with a shitty narcissist, can lead to horrible luck and terrible bad things happening to us. So there are a lot of really fascinating things. And again, if this topic at all piques your interest, I encourage you to look into chaos theory, butterfly effect, Einstein and some of his ideas and theories and everything. Now, some of you might get behind it. Some of you might see it as all hogwash. And again, totally fine. It's a video. I just wanted to share some things I learned and some things that I just find fascinating and interesting. I do this for a living, and I've always had this idea. Why are these people unshakable? Why are they bad luck? Why is it that so many more things bad happen to us when we're with somebody like this? So, have you ever heard of any of these things? Do you agree? Do you think it's nonsense? Do you feel like a narcissist is bad luck? Share all of that stuff with me in the comments. But before you do, a lot of people are going to have different positions and opinions about these things, so be tactful with your comments and your responses. We are allowed to disagree and have different ideas. That's kind of the whole point. So don't be so narrow-minded as to think that your way is the only way. It isn't. Your way is what works for you, and not everybody is you. So with that being said, have some nice adult discussions if you want in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, Survivor, and take care of yourself.